Legends aren't born, they're made. And for Middle Country, they can cement their legacy as one of 3 Suffolk County High School Hockey League teams of all time to be an 8 seed and win the championship, joining the likes of 2015 West Islip and last year's developmental winners, Connecticut Sayville. They will be the first team in the freshman division to pull off such a feat. They will also declare their first ever freshman championship in their history. All of that on the line tonight. As you join us here on LI Sports Network, thank you for tuning in. On behalf of our camera operator here tonight, Kevin Broderick, I'm Ryan Brannigan. And the Friars want to take everything I said at the top and throw it into a ball, chuck it into the garbage. They're planning for Monday. That will be when Game 3 kicks off, if necessary. But there are no plans for the Friars, who lost 1 game all season in regulation before their defeat 4-0 a night ago to the Middle Country Cougars, of losing their 2nd straight game for only the first time all year. Starting goaltenders tonight have been announced for Middle Country. They keep the rotation going. It'll be Jack LaSala. For St. Anthony's, they also will switch up their goaltender, and it will be Brody Morbillo. This season, Jack LaSala has been a staple in the playoffs. He got the win in the semis against Smithtown Hauppauge freshman Red. Allowed 3 goals in the game, but got the win. Graziano has been sensational as well, getting the shutout 4-0 win against the Friars in Game 1. He has only allowed a single goal all season. All playoffs, has Graziano, not all season. Now, as for St. Anthony's, Brody Morbillo has been a standout all year. 2.30 goals against average. Was representing them in the freshman all-star game. 11-1-2 record. In the playoffs, Brody Morbillo, 2.00 goals against average, undefeated 2-0 record. As we're going to send things down to the ice level for the anthem and our starting lineups. And we'll be back for Puck Drop in short moments Lotus here on LI Sports Network. Puck drop moments away on LI Sports Network. In Game 2 of the freshman finals, Middle Country, the 8 seed, looking to continue their Cinderella run and become the first team in their freshman league's history to be champion and join only one of 3 other teams as an 8 seed to do that feat, become champion. St. Anthony's going to try to force a decisive Game 3. It is worth noting that every series in the Suffolk County High School Hockey League this year, JV, varsity, developmental is only a winner-take-all. So JV and varsity has all gone to Game 3s. See if the Friars could do it. And there's a nice close-up look at Madison DeCharo. She has been outstanding for Middle Country throughout this playoff run and all throughout the regular season. A goal and 2 assists, 3 points for her as we're underway in Game 2. And a 4-0 shutout in Game 1 for Middle Country over the Friars. And St. Anthony's. There's a quick chance. Cuts away, it's back with DeCharo. Madison. She'll wheel around the net. Looks to evade Evans. And then takes a hit up high. Dished out there by McCauley. Good stick from Johnson. He has been a revelation. 6 goals throughout these playoffs for Johnson. Here's McCauley, though. Sweeps one toward the front of the net. DeCharo. Looking for possession. Aggressive forecheck here from Jake Evans. Evans plays it across. Got caught up in the stick. Good stick there from Reyes. Back to the point, though. Menino. D to D. Colmar takes the shot. Stopped by La Sala. A ton of traffic out in front. Cougars trying to clear. They can. It's Colmar. Sending one down low. But Ivazaj unable to get on the puck. And DeCharo content to just ice it. Great first shift here for St. Anthony's. And the Friars shut out for the only time this year in Game 1. Looking to get on the board early here in Game 2. Another big collision. That will be a penalty. Middle Country going to the power play as Johnson brings it ahead. Derek Johnson on the backhand. Stopped by Morbillo. And Brody Morbillo hangs on. Minute 29 gone by here in the first period. Middle Country on the Johnson rush. And I believe there was a collision behind the play, resulting in the penalty. It'll be against Nooner for roughing. Power play, Middle Country. Held in at the far point. They try to work it down low. Cleared all the way out. The Middle Country power play, 14.8%. The Friar penalty kill, 78.6%. Johnson across to Conlon. Hurried by Tizano, gets it to Dylan DeCharo. Sauces it to Johnson, flies one. Snagged out of midair by Morbillo, no rebound. 28 seconds gone by on the Cougar penalty. Or Cougar power play, I should say. Dylan will take the faceoff. It's one back, however, by Reggie Henry. And cleared out of the zone by the Friars. Derek Johnson drops it off for Madison DeCharo. Back with Johnson. Little stutter step, another beautiful move. Forced behind, Johnson out in front. Conlon again out in front. Nobody home, and it's cleared down ice by St. Anthony's. On goal to La Sala. He'll steer it away from Tizano onto the stick of Derek Johnson, and why not? 50 seconds to go on the power play. Johnson cuts middle. A lot of Friars sticks in the lane, and they clear it down. Priorities number 1, 2, 3, and 4 tonight for the Friar defense are going to be stopping Derek Johnson, who had a hat trick in Game 1. Backhanded into the Middle Country bench. 30 seconds to go on the MC power play. And exactly 3 minutes gone by in this first period. Listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League Freshman Final on LI Sports Network. LaSala, that's Mason LaSala, had a huge goal in game one. Zethner to the line, held in by Madison. Madison, nice little spin move, takes a wrist shot, stopped by Borbillo with Krakitis in front. Now another free puck, stick lift from Evans, and now Jake Evans accelerates through neutral ice. Evans trying to get around to Charo, takes the shot on goal, stopped by LaSala. McCauley trying to control around the net as the penalty expires. And Ivazaj off the bench into the play. Johnson backhands it to center ice. Zethner for McCauley. And rink wide in stride to Menino. Menino diving with the poke check was LaSala. Puck just gets out. That's offsides. .11:03 to go in the first period. St. Anthony's defeated Middle Country 10-4 back on October the 10th. And again, 8-6. Middle Country nearly roared back with a huge third period in that game, as that's going to go right off of Coach Moringer on the Middle Country bench. Looked like he tried to catch it and flubbed it. Of course, this Middle Country team without two of its better skaters, and Jonathan Moringer injured, and Jesse Verticana at Nationals representing the LI goals. Good pass down low, and the chance stopped by LaSala. Rebound, another save, LaSala. Ripping that shot wide was Henry. Pardon me, that's Todd Roush. Roush takes it behind. More pressure for the black and gold. Risky pass to the point. McCarthy was all over it. And now Dylan DeCharo races on in, knocked to the ice up high by Menino. Middle Country fans want a call, won't get one. Solis the other way, 2-on-2. Solis trying to get around Figueroa. Has to spin back to the point. Menino, wrister, stopped by LaSala, and no rebound given up by Jack. Get our first replay of the night. As Jack LaSala stands tall in between the pipes for MC. Goaltending has been a huge reason why they have made this incredible run and are a game away, a win away from championship glory. Zethner breaks in on the side and then takes a huge hit from Johnson. Nooner hands it behind. Jousting with it, Reggie Henry. Puck still up for grabs. Johnson will take it. And a bit of a wrestling match broke out on the ice there. And back to hockey. Stizano chips it down low. He'll get it himself. Stizano out in front off the skate of Johnson. Now Henry spins and shoots, stopped by LaSala. Galloway lost it along the near half wall, and Johnson will prevail. Johnson, home run pass to Mason LaSala, missed his stick. That will be an icing on Middle Country as the Friars continue to stockpile good offensive zone shifts following the penalty they took. Dylan DeCharo will take the face-off against McCauley. It's won by McCauley. Evans now trying to go out in front to McCauley. Good stick lift there from DeCharo. Colmar looking for a passing lane. Broken stick belongs to Massa. DeCharo as Colmar fired one wide. Held in by Menino at the near point. McCauley feeds it across. Shot wide. Colmar with the chance. Opportunity to clear. Successful. Now foot race. Ivasash and Dylan DeCharo scores! What a play! Dylan DeCharo! Middle Country lead at 1-0. Just a foot race. Ivasash has a step, and watch the stick lift and great positioning. And now Morbillo, uncharacteristically off his post. Dylan takes full advantage, and the Cougars take the 1-0 lead. They've now outscored St. Anthony's 5-0 in the playoffs. And dating back to that game, they lost, Middle Country lost 8-6. In that third period, Middle Country outscored St. Anthony's. LaSalle puts the glove on top. Face off one. Kirkidis dumps one in on goal, ushered away by Morbillo. Spiked away from Cetera, but nevertheless, here come the Friars. Roush. Figueroa applying the pressure. Try to pass to the slot, Cetera. Good sticks from Middle Country. Try to go back across again. Giametti rescues it from the goal line. Cougars breaking out. Kirkidis dumps in. Mason LaSala gets to it first. A flipper over the net. Colmar gave it away. Mason LaSala. Shot save made with a glove. Morbillo. Sloppy defensive zone play here from St. Anthony's, giving Middle Country more chances to extend their lead. Heroic keep in there from Johnson, spiked around by the stick of Morbillo. And stepped up, here's Madison DeCharo. Keeping the play in the zone for MC. As I noticed in the chat earlier, a lot of love from the Longwood Lions in the chat, as this will be an icing against St. Anthony's. Directed toward Middle Country. And a Let's Go West Islip from Nana. Perhaps excited I had brought up the never to be forgotten 2015 West Islip Lions team, led by our own Travis Quigley. Off the defensive zone draw win, the Friars come out. Tizzano sweeps it in. DeCharo lost it to Nooner. Nick Nooner backhands to Galloway. Galloway, a wrist shot blocked by Dylan DeCharo. That'll glance off a member of the Cougars bench, and the faceoff will come back down into the MC zone. I mean, lightning in a bottle is a way to describe it, but there are few words to really articulate what this team for Middle Country have done over the last few days / week. It encapsulates what it means to be March. Dylan DeCharo evading Tizzano. Reverses to Caliendo. Tizzano back activating on the forecheck. Neenan trying to squish it ahead. Eventually comes to Dylan. Dylan across McCarthy. Stolen away by Zethner. Fire wagon change here for the Cougars as Madison DeCharo looks to get around Tizzano and can't. Tizzano playing it ahead. Gets through McCarthy. McCarthy back in after it. Missed large portions of the regular season due to injury. Did McCarthy. Nice play there by Zethner to stop and start, and the outlet pass ahead to Tizzano. His pass in the zone, taken away by Madison DeCharo, but she'll give it right back to Tizzano. Tizzano falls down. Nooner rips it in. All the way around for Mason LaSala. Nearly lost it to Henry. And then Henry runs into Derek Johnson. And then another hit. Shot goes wide from Evans. Comes all the way out of the zone. Menino. As we approach 5 minutes remaining in this first period, it's 1-0 for the 8-seeded Middle Country Cougars, who are a win away. Friars in with speed. Round is Evans. Evans, the shot never got through to Jack LaSala. Colmar with a check. Back with Johnson. Johnson, high flip out of the zone. Alleviates more pressure put on by St. Anthony's. And nearly kicked into the net by Menino. Crisis averted. And he plays it ahead to Ivazaj. Ivazaj pass. Misses McCauley. Reyes looking to play it ahead. Tangled up on the far corner boards. Derek Johnson. Looks to backhand it up. It's gloved down by Jake Evans. And Faith Rivera able to redirect it out of the zone. And now it's given away to Faith. Faith taken off the puck from behind by Colmar. Faith, one of 3 girls on this Middle Country team. That is the most of any team this year in the Suffolk County High School Hockey League. Jake Evans for St. Anne's. In with speed, in with pace. Couldn't muster a shot. Johnson. Backhands around. Conlon looks to sweep over to it and will. But he's checked off the puck. But the point pass misfires. All the way out. Morbillo will play it. 3:20 to go here in the first. D-to-D pass. It's Colmar. Colmar weaving in. Colmar to the outside and around the net. Looking for a passing lane. Finds one. McCauley stopped. Another broken stick, this time for Figueroa. She looks around, not sure what to do. She's going to make a beeline to the bench out in front. Save made! Point blank on McCauley. Another shot just whistles wide. Another pass to the front of the net. Now back door, they score! The Friars have tied it at 1. Logan McCauley. In a sequence that it felt inevitable. And the Friar bench and fan base are fired up. Their first goal of the championship series. And it just capped off an incredible run of offense for St. Anne's. They finally break through. Here's a rebound chance. Dylan DeCharo goes just wide. Dylan through the feet of Maresca. St. Anne's look to break out. Giametti looking to hold his own. Gets forced behind. Roush off the mask and out of play. That was something. Take another look at this. Save here from Jack LaSala on the Roush shot. Roush, not much of an angle. Wisely tries to bank it off the goaltender's noggin. And nearly did bank it into the net. Popped up and out of play. McCarthy. He's in! McCarthy! Stopped by Morbillo! Wow, this is right off the face-off. Just a feather of a lead pass from Conlon. Perfectly in stride. Amazing touch on that pass. And McCarthy stopped, but big save there from Morbillo. Off the face-off, a chance. McCarthy whistled it wide. Right back in. McCarthy shoots, save, rebound, Conlon, stop, another try. They jab, it won't go. Morbillo. Johnson. Surviving a stick check, Derek Johnson. Backhands in, and away come the Friars. And Galloway to himself. Dumps in. Madison DeCharo. evades Nooner. Johnson, or as Brady Campbell would refer to him as Mr. March, Derek Johnson. Great step up from Zethner, took him off the puck. And now Tizano, potential numbers, but DeCharo back checking. And Reyes steers Tizano to the outside, coughed it up to Madison. Henry keeps it in for now, and then backstopped by Colmar. Runs around. Reyes pokes it ahead. Dylan DeCharo. Dylan trying to locate the loose puck. It's eventually rescued and carried ahead by Reyes, who hits the red and dumps in. And now icing is called. He just missed the red line. Bit of an unforced error there from Cougar defenseman Lucas Reyes. So an offensive zone draw for St. Anthony's. McCauley, shot kicked out by Jack LaSala. Back with McCauley. He opened this. Got the Friars equalizing goal not too long ago. Try to chip it out of the zone. Middle country, 30 seconds to go in the first period. Here's Evans. Evans, a step, rifled it over the net. Colmar keeps in. Dylan DeCharo backhands it out. Evans sends one to Menino. Owen Hill on the forecheck. Poked by Madison DeCharo. Here's numbers for the Friars. Evans to McCauley. McCauley with a poke check by Dylan. Rebound is available. Save Jack LaSala. Another hectic sequence. And the Friars stay off the board as we come to the end of period one. Tied at 1. I'll step aside and be back in just a moment. Stick around. Second period of the freshman final, game 2, on its way in just a moment on LI Sports Network. Second period beginning shortly. Dylan DeCharo, Logan McCauley, the 2 goal scorers from period number 1. Friars dominating zone time and scoring chances for large stretches of that first period, but still some uncharacteristic defensive lapses and sloppy play have given Middle Country, who have been opportunistic all playoff long, their fair share of good chances as well. See how this game unfolds as that goes all the way through everyone. 3-on-2 developing at neutral ice. McCarthy takes a long shot, guided wide by the blocker of Brody Morbillo. Try to get one ahead of Roush, broken up by Giametti. Grayson, Giametti. Taken away by Cetera. The shot goes just wide. Johnson. Hands over to Dylan DeCharo. Now Conlon. Conlon will flip in and chase it. He'll be the first one on it. Conlon playing it to the boards where no teammate is. Friars look to break out. Conlon nearly strips Zethner of the puck, but the Friars assistant captain able to get one ahead. Broken up at neutral ice by Figueroa. Here's Johnson in with a head of steam. Johnson forced back. Again, good defense there as they're almost triple teaming him as he handed it across to Caliendo. Conlon Pressed up against the end boards by Zethner. Puck looking to be freed. Player from each side helping out the cause. Collin in front. Oh, nearly had Johnson. Great stick check provided that time by Solis. As here is Cetera. Rips the shot. Glove save made. Jack LaSala, no rebound. Dylan DiChiaro now has 3 playoff goals. While Logan McCauley Dylan bumped off the puck there. Nooner with Tizzano. Nooner lost the handle, picked up, shot, score! It's Reggie Henry! St. Anthony's take the 2-1 lead, their first lead of the series. Again, following up the rush. Smart play, watch Maresca. Blows it by, makes no mistake, beats LaSala glove side. And one of their point leaders in the regular season getting it done here in game 2. Henry's first goal of the playoffs as well. Nooner to the point. Low shot, sticked aside by LaSala. Friars looking to seize momentum. In front, Tizzano went off the back of his skate. Menino to Colmar. Galliendo the step up on Nooner. Nooner gets by him. Nick Nooner across. Oh, he had Tizzano, but the puck flipped up on him. And off the side of the net. Hill looking to clear to the point. Menino, wrist shot wide. Banks to Colmar. Colmar chips it down low for Nooner. Nooner reverses. Hill in a puck race. Here's Johnson. Johnson with Krikitis. Derek Johnson, a drive save. Rebound, Krikitis stopped by Morbillo. And then a little rough stuff after the whistle briefly. But Brody Morbillo, after allowing that early goal, has locked himself into this game. First this one on Johnson, but the rebound on Krikitis, a bouncing puck. Krikitis just probably happy to even get that on goal, and it ended up being a very difficult shot. Saved by Morbillo, and the former ESM goaltender will make another. Dylan DiChiaro against Ivazaj, one back by Dylan. Figueroa a shot. Taken ahead by Logan McCauley. McCauley around Reyes, around the net, save, rebound, stopped as well, still loose, they score! 3 unanswered for St. Anne's. And it's their playoff leader in points, Jake Evans, who gets their 3rd goal of the night. And 3rd goal of the period. Sorry, 2nd goal of the period. Ivazaj in the area as well, but it's going to be Evans, his 5th of the postseason. Banked along, Derek Johnson. Again, think about those Morbillo saves. Would have been 2-2 instead. 3-1 now for the Friars. Back to Reyes. Reyes shot, pinballs around, eventually stopped by the blocker of Morbillo. Johnson has got an absolute hand cannon. Will try to wrestle his way around McCauley. McCauley having none of it. Evans trying to go ahead with it. Offsides here on St. Anne's. And that's an intentional offsides taken by Galloway. The faceoff will go all the way down. But 3-1 St. Anne's. Evans from Ivazaj, Henry from Nooner and Menino. And Logan McCauley got the Avalanche started back in the first period with a goal scored from Jake Evans. Evans, 2 points tonight. Again, he had 7 heading into this game. And we've got an equipment malfunction here. Jack LaSala will redo his right pad. Derek Johnson is going to go and assist his goaltender, and now Jack is just going to go off the ice and will be replaced by the hero of game 1, Dominic Graziano. So LaSala, equipment issue off. Graziano is on. Cetera moves into the zone, knocked off the puck. Mason LaSala brings it ahead, a wrist shot, stopped by Morbillo, and no rebound allowed as Mason LaSala will spill to the ice, and then looks like Solis also got emptied to the ice, and they're gonna say, yeah, Derek Johnson, the guilty party, a roughing call for that drive-by on Solis. Oh boy. So 3 unanswered for St. Anthony's. They have an opportunity to make it 4 with their first power play chance of the night. Wrist shot stopped. Nooner with the chance. Graziano, welcome to the hockey game. Colmar to Nooner. Nooner knocked to the ice by Mason LaSala, chipped to the line, held in by Colmar. Madison DeCharo to the line, and getting knocked down and still able to clear it. There was Mason LaSala. Colmar around the stick of LaSala, shoots wide. He absolutely smoked it, but missed the net. That is important. Menino takes a check from Dylan DeCharo. It's fired all the way down by Middle Country. Again, the Friar power play heading into tonight, 26.1%, 84.6% penalty kill for MC. A big reason, again, also why they have gone on this Cinderella run. Tizano dekes around one. Conlon, stick check by Henry. Henry across. Tizano, stopped by Graziano. He's still in game 1 form tonight. And for Tizano, just can't seem to find the back of the net against MC in this finals. 2 goals and an assist throughout the playoffs to this point for Nick Tizano. McCauley reverses Evans, 25 seconds to go on the power play for St. Anne's. Pass to the front of the net. DeCharo jousting with McCauley, who shoots off Giametti and out of play. .8:47 to go here in the second. And 13 seconds remaining on the Friars' first power play of the night. And it's with Derek Johnson in the box. A huge chance here to score, the best penalty killer for Middle Country, serving the penalty. Evans looking to evade Giametti. Into the circle, into the slot. Evans shot it wide. And we're back to 5-a-side as Johnson off the bench into the play. Or all out of the box into the play, should say. Here is Zethner a drive, save made, Graziano rebounds in the crease, and he's got it. Check in on Jack LaSala. He had taken his helmet off and put it back on. So still getting his equipment looked at on the Cougar bench. Holding down the fort, Dominic Graziano. So it gets back to the point. Nice little play by Colmar. Eventually Colmar double teamed. Here comes Derek Johnson. Menino hustling back, but here comes Johnson to the backhand. Stopped by Morbillo. Johnson will find the loose puck. Rips a shot. Stopped by Morbillo again. Call, it's Johnson again. Why not? Derek Johnson, he'll flick it down the boards. It gets all the way through. Krikitis battling Menino. Menino is without his stick. Puts one out in front. There's Johnson batting it out of midair. Where's the puck? Morbillo's got it. Look at that hand eye there from Johnson and Morbillo. Uh-oh, where is it? I got it. .740 to go in the second. Again, my name's Ryan Brownigan, joined alongside camera operator Kevin Broderick. Johnson to take the offensive zone faceoff. Wins it. Johnson to Conlon. Conlon back to Johnson. Johnson shoots, stopped by Morbillo, and he's got the rebound. It is an absolutely jam-packed fan base of Middle Country Cougars to my left and Friars to my right for this championship game 2. Conlon trying to go out in front to Dylan DeCharo, ushered away by Henry. Nooner draws himself off sides. 7-16. Friars dump in, Zethner. The F1, Nooner takes a check from Reyes. Galloway off the far end boards. Spinning at the line. Got it to Henry. Henry, nice little stick lift. The shot goes wide. Tizano right about in front. It's in the feet of Reyes. Loose puck still there. They're still loose. And goes just wide. The chaos out in front. And now a penalty as things continue to stay physical as these teams. The bad blood boiling over the 5th meeting of the season. The 4th meeting of the season. If the Friars hold on to win, there will be a 5th meeting on Monday. And a penalty here on Reyes. Another power play for St. A's. But a quick clear for Middle Country. Aggressive forecheck from Dylan DeCharo, applying the pressure to Zethner. Dylan has the lone Middle Country goal tonight. He gives it away. 3-on-2 developing through neutral ice. Jake Evans pumps the brakes. Evans across. Colmar pulls, shoots, stopped. Face-off won by the Friars. Colmar. Ivazaj takes it around the net. To the point for Zethner. Colmar. Backhands it down. McCauley able to get it over to Evans behind the goal line. Evans. Far circle, now far end boards. Rather far boards across. Colmar taps one. Johnson takes over. Johnson, methodical. awaits pressure from Evans, and Evans takes it away. McCauley shoots. Blocker save made by Graziano. Colmar again gets his way through. Stopped. Rebound. Pardon me, that was McCauley. Now it's Colmar. Ivazaz shot. Left pad save made. Graziano. Consistent pressure here on the power play for the Friars, but they have not broken through. Dominic Graziano makes another save. Graziano thrust into the fire due to an equipment malfunction for his fellow goaltender Jack LaSala. 32 seconds left on the Friar power play. My apologies, the Friar power play. Chipped up the boards. Colmar. Zano out in front. Henry looking to get a shot. Never did. Good stick from Johnson. And now Giametti off the glass ahead. Chance to clear here for McCarthy. He cannot. Great keep in Menino. Neuner. Colmar. Strike one. And the puck comes out of the zone. And that will do it for the second St. Anthony's power play. Back to five-a-side again. As Tizano try to get around Matty DiChiaro, cannot. Madison for Mason LaSala. He looked like he wanted to dish out a check and received a check from Neuner. DiChiaro hit to the boards. Lost her stick as well. And is gingerly making her way over to the Cougar bench. Appears to have gotten shaken up on that last hit from Neuner. It didn't seem vicious at all, but went awkwardly into the boards. Stazano gives it away to McCarthy, and McCarthy will just send it out. Still consistent pressure from St. Anne's as they lead it 3-1. 3 unanswered goals after Dylan DiChiaro opened the scoring. Pressure put on by McCarthy. Neuner will eventually get one over to Tizano. Tizano breaks in on Giametti. Giametti goes down. Johnson looking to find the loose puck. Comes to Neuner. Neuner's pass blocked. Here's another chance. Stop by Graziano. And oh boy, there we go. And then another couple gloves up high. Things are getting a bit feisty at the rinks in Hauppauge. 3:24 to go, second period. We'll get into all the penalties in just a moment. Listening to the freshman final on LI Sports Network. All right, 3:24 to go. There is a Friar and Cougar in the box. Neuner's in the box for St. Anne's, and a perplexed Middle Country Cougar joining him. We stay five-a-side out of all that extracurricular activity taking place after the whistle. Matty DiChiaro said she was shaken up. She's right back out on the ice and gets the clearing here. Zethner regroups. Fires around. Picked up by McCauley. Turned it over. Krikitis. And now Conlon trying to bank it to Krikitis. Does. The shot along the ice is stopped by Morbillo. .250 remaining here in the second. It's Neuner off for roughing, and Jack LaSala is the one who took the penalty for roughing after the whistle. That's the goaltender. That shot deflected just wide. Conlon was out in front, got a piece. DiChiaro down the far boards, knocked to the ice, plays it nevertheless out in front. Cougars want a penalty. They're benching fans and won't get one. Zethner to Evans, out of the zone with speed, but shrugs off a check from Dylan DiChiaro and eventually is taken off the puck by Derek Johnson. Johnson applying the brakes, having a hard time getting out of the zone, eventually just flips it ahead for Dylan. Dylan taken off the puck by Zethner, as the strategy for Middle Country is certainly, or rather for St. Anthony's, is paying off, and that's to attach as many players as close as possible to Derek Johnson to not allow him to pick up speed. He's going to try to do so anyway. It's poked off his stick. Another great job of the Friars. Ivanzaj across. Here's Evans. Scores! Jake Evans, third point of the game. 4-1 St. Anthony's. I mean, this kid is something special. Let's go, boys! Plays for the Junior Islanders. And is carrying St. Anthony's in the scoring department. And now we're going to see a penalty be called here. A timeout, rather, by Middle Country, as the Friars have 4 unanswered goals. Try to slow things down. Jake Evans, 2 goals and an assist tonight. And in his prior 2 games had 4 goals, 3 assists. So he's up to 10 points in 3 playoff games for St. Anthony's, as they have found themselves another game breaker. And an absolute embarrassment of riches of talent for St. Anthony's. The varsity champs. Smithtown Hauppauge Red JV defeating the Friars Gold JV team in 3 games. Henry, we're gonna get one to Borison. Here comes Johnson. Johnson to himself ahead. Gets by the poke check of Colmar. Looks to gain possession back, does. Flicks it to the front. Maresca couldn't quite get a shot. Johnson dangling. Spin, shoots. Glove save made. Rebound wide. Maresca. And now Borison trying to get it out. A penalty is going to get called. And I believe they're going to get Morbillo, as he was tangled up with McCarthy with exactly a minute to go in the second period. Interference is the call. And it's going to go against Menino. So Middle Country get their second power play of the game, 0 for 1. But did have a number of decent chances on that power play. As Johnson, a drive, stopped by Morbillo. And he'll go take the puck for a walk into the corner. I mean, we've got to really see how fast these shots are coming from Derek Johnson, and he's only the oldest he could be as a freshman. The oldest. Chipped ahead, Mason Lasala. This is on goal. Sticked away by Morbillo into the corner, flying in was Conlon as Matty DiChiaro gets it over to Derek Johnson. Johnson battling Nooner. Goes down the boards. Sent around. DiChiaro keeps in far point. Chips one around to Zano. But Zethner beat Dylan DiChiaro to the loose puck. Nooner. His pass went off of Madison. Carried in by Colmar. And Colmar wisely sends it around with just seconds remaining in this second period as we get to the end of the second. St. Anthony's with 3 goals in the period and 4 unanswered take a commanding 4-1 lead into the second intermission. Third period, what about it? It's coming up in just a moment. And if anyone's counting out Middle Country, not sure where you've been. But they've got to come back from 3 down in period number 3. We'll find out all those questions in just a moment here on LI Sports Network. Period number 3 in game 2 of the SCHSHL Freshman Championship. Middle Country down by 3, would need 3 goals to tie for a chance to claim championship glory here in game 2. But as I mentioned off the top, throughout this year and last year, getting it done in 2 games is not something teams have been able to do in the Suffolk County High School Hockey League in championship series. It has gone to the distance each and every time at the JV varsity levels, as well as the freshman level, each of the last 3 years. Here's Madison DiChiaro, toe drag, shoot, save, rebound, stop Morbillo. Brody Morbillo has been outstanding. And again, we have more after the whistle stuff, but I mean, my goodness. I mean, the talent of Madison DiChiaro on that last sequence, but Brody Morbillo making the key save. 34 more seconds of power play time for MC. We'll try to win it from the near boards. Comes to Galloway. Galloway's pass ahead eventually does find its way to McCauley. McCauley moves in. Takes the shot off the stick of DiChiaro, steered away by Johnson. And now here is Derek Johnson with a head of steam through neutral ice. Johnson breaks to the outside. Looks to get around Zethner, and again, 3 Friars converge on Johnson, even shorthanded. Get the puck away from the leading scorer, Middle Country, and send it down ice. And the penalty has concluded. Menino out of the box and onto the bench. Swung down for Henry. Henry to the point, Zethner. Zethner, a wrister deflected and wide. And as LaSala may have gotten tangled up, Graziano had since gone back to backup duties. LaSala had been making a number of those saves late in the period. Not Dominic Graziano. Face-off won defensively by Johnson. Giametti around for Mason LaSala. Mason into open area. Kicks off the boards to Menino. Frankie Menino to Colmar. Colmar's pass nearly intercepted by Krikitis. And now out of the zone. In speed, Tazzano to the net. Stopped by LaSala. And again, we have some after the whistle shenaniganry. The net's been dislodged. Looks like the faceoff's coming all the way out, and they're going to take Reggie Henry off the ice. Friar fans don't like it. Reggie doesn't like it. But Middle Country go right back to the power play. And a chance to make it a 2-goal game. Inside of 2 minutes gone by in this third period. Off the face-off. Backhanded ahead eventually by Evans. And ripped all the way down ice by Logan McCauley. Madison DiChiaro for Derek Johnson. Johnson goes down to the ice. McCauley aggressive on the PK. And then Johnson lays into Evans. Breakout pass Dylan DiChiaro. And there's another penalty coming up, this time on Menino. As Menino wrestled Dylan DiChiaro to the ice, it'll be a 5-on-3 for MC for 1 minute and 33 seconds. Bit overzealous there for Frankie Menino. And a quick clear off the face-off tie-up by St. Anne's. Maddie. Surveying. Johnson. Evans on him. Poked it from Derek Johnson between his legs. Over to LaSala. LaSala looking to go back door. Puck deflected and snagged with authority by Brody Morbillo. And I got a Brody chant after the whistle from the Friar faithful to my right, as they have killed off a decent chunk. But still a minute left of 5-on-3 hockey as that goes right through Dylan DiChiaro. Banks to Conlon. Conlon to Madison. Madison fires wide. Johnson loads up. Fires another one off the end boards. Madison. Swap spots with Conlon. Madison. Try to go cross ice. Eventually it's LaSala who went back door. But missed Dylan DiChiaro. Now Derek Johnson, a slot shot save. Rebound! Stopped by Morbillo. It's stopped again by the defender. What a play. We play on. 27 seconds of 5-on-3 hockey. Conlon. Mason LaSala to the point. Johnson, a wrist shot deflected wide. Try to put back to the middle. Blocked. Blocked by Colmar, and Colmar clears. Jake Evans applying the pressure to Madison DiChiaro. Maddie will pull away with speed through neutral ice. Back comes Evans. Madison into the zone. 5-on-4 for another 25. Dylan shot blocked and cleared out. Cleared out by Henry on goal. Back in Johnson, around Tazzano. Johnson around the net. Johnson backhanded it out in front, blocked. Derek Johnson once more. The wrist shot stopped by Morbillo. Dylan DiChiaro to the point. Madison, shot deflected. Save Morbillo. Dylan DiChiaro for Johnson, one-timer wide. Here's Conlon out in front. Poked from the crease area. And away comes Nooner. Good stick from Dylan. Mason trying to go right back in. And another whistle here. And it's another penalty against the Friars. This one won't be on a single player, but rather the entire bench. Bench minor for too many players on the ice. And they've got to pick who to serve it. And they will elect Tizano, Middle Country, who on these power plays have done everything but score. We'll get yet another look. Face-off won by Dillon, but a great play by the winger, stepping in Solis. So DeCharo back to get it. And not much rest for this top unit of power play members of the Middle Country Cougars. Derek Johnson, a little do-si-do into the zone. Johnson, a backhand pass, caught up in the skates. Johnson on the backhand, hands off. Dillon, that pass intercepted by Neuner. And away comes Nick Neuner. Neuner, shorthanded shot. Stopped by LaSala, ramps up into the netting. .9:31 to go in period number 3. A minute and 21 seconds remaining on the Middle Country power play. Derek Johnson behind his net, trying to bait Solis. And now Johnson, shot out of a cannon. Through neutral ice, Johnson to the net. Johnson wrestled off the puck at the last moment by Galloway. Fired around, just gets by the stick of LaSala and sent out of the zone by Zethner. On goal to LaSala, Jack. And Jack LaSala gets it over to Derek Johnson. Under 9 to play in period number 3, under 40 to go on the power play. For Middle Country, their third straight. Krikitis hands it back to Derek Johnson. Johnson. Little dangle, Johnson to the backhand, shot stopped by Morbillo. And spiked out of the zone by Zethner. The former Northport Huntington Tiger. LaSala nearly gave it away, but then poke check, another shot, glove save, LaSala. He keeps play moving. He's a madman. Mason LaSala unable to get around the stick of Solis. And Solis unable to penetrate through Johnson. But the penalty has expired. The penalty kill for St. Anthony's. Benz doesn't break and has a great kill there. Continues to remain perfect. The Friars just under 8 minutes before forcing a winner-take-home game number 3. Neuner swept it around. Roush, former KPC Knight. Galloway plays catch, back to Trevor Galloway. The wrist shot stopped by LaSala. 7:31 remaining here in the third period. 4 unanswered goals for St. Anthony's. Neither team has scored here in the third period just yet. Reggie Henry to take the faceoff. Kicks back to Menino. Menino, shot blocked. Krikitis trying to move it quick. And poked out of the zone by Dylan DeCharo. He'll fight through a check and make his way toward the net. Toe drag around Colmar doesn't work. And Aiden sends it ahead for Neuner. 3-on-2 here for St. A's. But Neuner mishandled the puck at the line, drawing everyone offside. Conlon to Caliendo. Stretch pass, misses. Dylan DeCharo will be an icing on the Cougars. Again, I want to thank you all for tuning in to LI Sports Network's coverage of the Suffolk County High School Hockey League. But be sure to tune in to our coverage tomorrow of the FDNY NYPD, the 52nd Annual Heroes Game, live at UBS Arena. Travis Quigley will be on the call. I'll be between the benches, and all the other members, including our cameraman Kevin Broderick and Brady Campbell, will be in the booth with Travis. A nice little shimmy shake here from Menino. The shot stretching out to make the save, LaSala. We also will have our whole staff pretty much on set, helping us out in what is likely our biggest event of the season. Would love for all of you tuned in tonight. If you can't make it, you're not going to be at UBS. You know where to find us, LI Sports Network. Middle Country are looking for a goal to maybe spark a comeback. Perhaps their best chance to do so has passed them with a 5-on-3 that they couldn't break through Brody Morbillo. As a shot from Ivazaj is gloved by Jack LaSala. Face off, taken by Johnson, won by St. Anthony's. Looking for room out there is Solis. Solis will go down low with McCauley. McCauley centering pass, or rather that's Roush. Centering pass never made it. And this is another icing on Middle Country. I spoke with Middle Country head coach Ray Carmen before the game. I asked him if he had done anything special, any superstitions, things of that nature ahead of this miraculous run to the finals and then win in game one. And he said no. And he actually, if you would recall, he was not behind the bench for their win against Smithtown because he had a colonoscopy that he was preparing for. As anyone who's been through that will now understand why their head coach wasn't behind the bench. 2-on-1 developing. Here's Nooner. Stopped by LaSala. No shortage of excellent saves on both ends of the ice in this one. Jack LaSala adding yet another highlight reel save to the Middle Country ledger. I also spoke with Coach DeLuca of the Friars. Get into what he told me in a moment as Dylan DiChiaro goes hard into the glass. He had the puck, we play on. Ivazaj unable to get around Madison DiChiaro. And the 12-year-old able to try to work one ahead. Older brother Dylan unable to get to it. Now he does. Now he's off the puck. Colmar breaks on in, fires wide. Logan McCauley on the far end boards. Evans, now McCauley. Trying to go back to Evans through his skates. And Owen Hill will glance it off the near boards. And with enough touch to avoid icing. Hill goes for a change. Conlon out. Menino gets around McCarthy and around Conlon. Takes the shot over the net. Might have deflected on its way. Jake Evans. To the point. Menino, wrister. Another glove save made by Jack LaSala. He might have even gotten a rebound as well. The Friars doing an excellent job of keeping the play away from Brody Morbillo. Attempting to hold on to the 4-1 lead and force game 3. Back here at the Rinks in Hauppauge on Monday night. Face off to the left of LaSala, won by St. Anne's. And Reggie Henry, he looks to secure the puck, sent to the line. Menino holds in. Menino a little pivot, a little razzle-dazzle. Frankie Menino and takes the wrister wide. Giametti plugs it around near side. Again, the forecheck of the Friars, relentless to this point. Giametti, Middle Country just unable to break it out of the zone for these last couple of minutes. Again, credit St. Anthony's. To the front of the net. Spike to the line, held in, shot by Menino, blocked. And now here come Middle Country. Mason LaSala got tangled up a bit on the breakout, gathers and dumps in. But under 3:30 to go here in the third. The deficit for MC is 3. Big hit into the boards. Puck comes free to Johnson, who's been held off the scoreboard tonight. Derek Johnson to Reyes. Reyes, the wrister, stopped. The rebound is underneath the Friar, who's engaged in a board battle in front of Mason LaSala. It's Menino, and LaSala and Menino will pad out their differences as Tizzano breaks out the other way. Tizzano centers all the way through. And now a whistle. I believe the net is dislodged. It is. And when I say they settled out their differences, I don't mean they just started throwing wax at each other. No, they patted each other on the helmets and said, "That's my bad." And you don't really see that too much, especially tonight. As out in front, oh my goodness, Jack! What was that? What a save! Back the other way, high flip into the zone. Zethner looks to get around Kirkidis. Reverse to Galloway. Ivazaj hands off to Evans. Evans breaks in on Caliendo. Evans across, score! Logan McCauley on the incredible feed from Jake Evans. It's 5-1 Friars. This beats the defender. Madison DeCharo just misses it with the back of her skate. And Jack LaSala has made incredible saves tonight. There was zero chance he was going to save that one. As Evans and McCauley each stay red hot. Second of the night for Logan. 4th point of the game for Evans. He now has 11 in 3 games in the playoffs for St. Anne's. Shoveled around. Frankie Menino trying to dangle his way through. As we're under 2 minutes to go in the hockey game. Madison DeCharo, she'll drag, she'll look for the puck and won't get a shot off. Great defense provided by Solis. That's his hallmark. Big reason why he is a St. Anthony's Friar is his defensive play. A penalty killer, and he has had himself a night tonight. Former Northport Huntington Tiger. Flipped ahead, Dylan DeCharo. Again, he opened the scoring way back early in the first period. Marodi Morbillo has not allowed one since and has looked excellent doing so. Madison in with speed, try to pass it in front to Maresca, and then a wrist shot missed the net. As we're under a minute to go in the third period. All signs point to Monday, where we will have a decisive Game 3. Colmar to the backhand, shot it wide. And another stoppage here. .5 seconds remaining in this third period. We resume play. 2 Friars collide. Borison nearly taken out by Nooner, who presses McCarthy to the boards. Tizzano into open space. The shot stopped by La Sala, who, despite allowing the goals he has, Jack La Sala played himself an excellent game. And those are words he's not going to want to hear, as championship glory on the line. And then Nooner lays into Faith Rivera. More chaos ensuing as McCarthy and Tizano joust. Time will expire, and not without a little rumble at the end, but Brody Morbillo surrounds his Friar teammates, forming a massive wall on the boards reminiscent of Vincent Trocheck and the Rangers. St. Anthony's win Game 2 and force Game 3 on Monday night by a final score of 5-1. 5 unanswered goals tonight for St. Anthony's. And shining bright in the process, Logan McCauley, Jake Evans. They were fabulous, as well as their netminder, Brody Morbillo. For Middle Country, it's their first loss since a 10-4 loss against Longwood on March 22nd. Remember, Longwood lost in the semifinal in the freshman division to St. Anthony's. Now it is the Friars, who aren't done yet. They win 5-1, force Game 3 on Monday. And on behalf of our cameraman, Kevin Broderick, my name's Ryan Brannigan, and I will see you on Monday.